From Central Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
Well, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 59 Tonight. I'm Cameron Little. We appreciate you downloading our new Fox 59 Now streaming app on your smart TV. You can find that on Apple TV, Roku TV, or on your Fire TV. And we are on YouTube. If you're watching us there, hit the subscribe button right here on this page. Either way, download or subscribe. You'll never miss a conversation that we have every weeknight at 8 o'clock here on Fox 59 Now. I want to keep introducing you guys to my friends here at Fox 59. And we say that everybody's friends and we all love our coworkers and family, right? But no, this time I actually mean it. I'm sitting in the studio with somebody I genuinely like and truly call a friend. And she's a big part of all the success we have here at the station. You watch her weekend evenings on Fox 59 News at 10, Jenny Dreasler. And she reminds everybody her name is pronounced like Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. That's what I tell everybody. Like Dr. Dre, long A.
Jenny, you look great.
Thank you. I have hair and makeup done today.
I look like trash.
No, you don't.
No, I'm looking at myself.
It's
and then
so funny. I can look in this and actually see it.
Yeah, you look great.
This is such a good little setup you have in here. I haven't actually been in here since this has all been set up and the lighting and the backdrop. It looks good. You look good.
We're making progress every episode. If you go back to the pilot episode, if you will.
I remember when you made the pilot.
Yeah.
It was on a weekend.
It was.
And I remember the audio issues and trying to get it all cut together. And it's like, look at where you're at now.
Oh, we still have audio issues, but we've gotten better, and the room's starting to look a little better. We've still got some Christmas gifts that we've asked for in here to help make things continue to grow. But this is the newest thing that we do. It's we do a lot in this station. You know, we've got Fox 59, the TV station, CBS 4, the TV station. We do the Hoosier Lottery here. The Hoosier Lottery room keeps getting moved around apparently because it used to be in the CBS studio.
And now it's back like in the corner.
Yes.
I know people probably don't know how Fox 59 is set up, but first of all, this place is huge, just so you know. And it's now the Hoosier Lottery.
Apparently not big enough.
Yeah. We need to expand.
Yeah.
What are you asking for, by the way, in here? You have a list of stuff.
Well, no, they sent an email and they said, well, what do you guys want? They said wish list. So I put my list together. Some monitors is on my list. I asked for 2. We'll see if that happens, but a table, a good desk for us to sit at. We did get some chairs. So
we finally did. Chairs around this place.
Chairs.
For people who don't know, chairs are so hard to come by.
Yeah, a good chair.
A good chair.
We got chairs.
My chair gets stolen constantly. Do you know Scott has a sign on his chair, I think, that says like Scott's chair?
Well,
like somebody over on the morning show has
now
it.
we have these, if you can see it on this chair.
Does it say your name?
Well, it says studio only.
So they can't take it. That is where we're at, people.
Yes. And these are the hottest new chairs on the block here at the studio. So we're coming along. We're coming along. You know, Jenny, there's been some big news and your name is next to it.
Ooh, I'm like, are we breaking some news today? Or is it?
Well, it's news you know about.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are we talking about?
You are a Murrow award-winning anchor.
I am. Thank
Congratulations.
You.
It's a big deal.
Thank you.
That was for the station's Delphi coverage, of which the day the verdict came down, you were the anchor in the seat. You were the one who broke into programming to say, hey, the verdict has come down and we begin our coverage.
Yeah, so the way that went down, believe it or not, so we had shifts that we were supposed to do it in. It was Melissa Crash and I think Daniel Miller for the morning shift. And then we thought it was going to happen that morning. So I'm like, oh, thank goodness, I'm in the clear. Because this is a big deal. Like there's no script for this. You have to fill, you don't even know how much time you have to fill. It could be hours until, you reach the verdict. So then my shift kept coming up and I'm like, oh crap, here we go. So Melissa and Daniel had just walked out the door and we get this email that's like a verdict has been reached. And I'm like, that would happen. And Dan Spieler, who anchored with me, he wasn't even in the building yet. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I go out to the set by myself and I'm like purposely like taking my time, like teasing my hair, going over everything. I'm like, Dan Spieler, hurry up and get to the station. So we finally go on and we at first didn't know. We're like, are we going to break into programming? What are we doing? And then they decided, yeah, we are breaking into program and we're just going to go and we're going to stay on the air this entire time. And we
Mm-hmm.
ended up filling, I think the first initial, it was hours you
Mm-hmm.
were on. And that's what happens, as you know, during these breaking news, these huge things. You don't know how long you're going to go on and you have to find a way to fill time. And I was just, it was a lot that day. So that's a little behind the scenes nugget of how that went down. So I just
Well,
happened to be here.
Well, you were at the right place at the right time, and like I said, you were the first voice that people heard when the news broke. So a Murrow, there's Emmys and there's different awards, society professional, journalists, and all kinds of things. But the Murrow is like that's the big boy.
Yeah, and I was always taught that, especially I think that like the general public knows about Emmys more, but to journalists, the Edward R. Murrow Award is like it's like
Mm-hmm.
the upper echelon of awards. It means
Mm-hmm.
a lot. It's like the highest journalism award that you can get, outside of like a DuPont or,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But an Edward R. Murrow is a pretty big deal. So
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
pretty shocked when we got that email. I was like, oh wow. And then clicked on the submission. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's me. But I think that story in and of itself, I mean, this had been going on for years and I was working at a different TV station right after this all happened. And it's like one of those stories that it's like you have to remember that, it's like about these two little girls. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
that still is like what stuck, with Dan and I, we were talking about it, like just how horrendous this is. And I think when you're on air, you have to remember like this is like real people that
Mm-hmm.
this is about. This is a real family. These are
Mm-hmm.
real. This is not like an episode that, you just put on Hulu or something to fill time. And I think that that's also something that we were very mindful of. Our entire station was mindful of when we covered the Delphi trial, was that this is about Abby and Libby
Mm-hmm.
and to remember their memory. And I think that was something we took a lot of pride in that day, to make sure, Dan and I in particular, to make sure that we talked about the girls, that that's what this was about.
That was one of the many stories that we've covered big time. Of course, just this
Mhm.
past the month of May, nonstop
Yeah.
coverage. Pacers, racers, Indy
Pacers and
500,
racers.
Indy 500 on Fox 59 live for the first time in ever for us. So a big deal. So I say that to say the wide to highlight the wide variety of
Mhm.
things that we cover, but sometimes in the same way. So while that was breaking news and we didn't know what the verdict would be until Max came running down the stairs, you can be
Yes.
on TV hours at a time, still not knowing what you're going to talk about for things that are more fun, like the
Mhm.
Indy 500.
Mhm.
So uh, we do a lot around here, and again, you're
We do.
a big part of that. You anchor the weekend shows, but you also fill in during the week, and then you're also what we call a night side reporter because you work here at night,
Mhm.
putting a package together 3 days a week.
Yep.
And a package, by the way, is that story of hers that airs each night during the newscast. What's a Jenny story?
Oh my gosh. I feel like since I've started here, what I covered is pretty much, I feel like there's been so many times where I've actually showed up to a story because I usually cover crime or I cover
Mm-hmm.
hard news. Recently, I've been covering not so much hard news just because, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And I showed up to a story a couple weeks ago. They're like, why are you here? Is
Mm-hmm.
something sinister going on? I'm like, no, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry. Just because I'm here, it doesn't mean something bad's happening, but it's because I normally cover crime or
Mm-hmm.
or bad things.
So a Jenny story is crime. You,
Crime,
you know,
um,
a Cameron story is anything that's dealing with transportation,
yep.
logistics, things like that. Those are Cameron
Those are
stories.
Cameron stories.
But
Yep.
a Jenny Cameron, I can do anything that you
I
want.
was gonna
But
say you're pretty versatile. You can do both. And I think
yes,
sometimes too it's interesting, some reporters, how we get into like our like niche,
mm-hmm,
like that you can't see them covering crime,
mm-hmm,
or like if they sent like another reporter who only covers crime out to do something fun, it's like, ooh, that
mm-hmm,
like, ooh, that
mm-hmm.
doesn't fit right.
Right.
You're one of the people that I feel like in this newsroom you can do both, that you fit both
Mm-hmm,
molds.
mm-hmm.
And I
I
think
played Flip
that's
Cup on TV the other
I
day.
saw that if anybody hasn't seen that, that was impressive. You told me, didn't it take 12 times, you said?
It
to
took
get that.
when I did it the first time, where we were just talking and just having fun with them. I got it on the first time. And then I said, hey, look, let's make this part of the story. So I said, I'll do my stand
Turn on
up,
the camera.
turn on the camera, and I'll do it while I'm talking. And then when I'm trying to concentrate, it took me an additional 12 times. So the one that you saw on TV was me having done it for the
For the
13th
13th
time.
time.
And boom, I got
As
it.
one does.
Yes. But hey,
Everybody there seemed pretty impressed. The cheers you got from them were like, yes, Cameron.
yes, it was a good time.
Did they offer you any special beverages for
They
actually
did.
getting it
They did
like
offer
on
me
the
some
flip side?
special beverages.
That I have found the people when I go out there, I covered the Coke lot last year. First of all, Coke lot is wild.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually sat out there and had dinner with them. We're allowed to have one drink on the clock, and I was like, I don't know if I should. And they're like, oh,
Is
come
that the
on.
rule?
Yeah, it's one drink. Now watch next star. I'd be like, that's not true. No, it's one. I believe it's one drink on the
Oh,
clock that you're
define a
allowed to.
drink.
See, and
Is
that's
that
what
a
I'm
full
thinking.
cup?
Now, if it's like a one drink like this, we're talking like
Right.
like
Just one drink.
like one Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Eric Graves did a Jello shot today live
And
on this,
see,
so it's
and I
like
was
one. Is that one Jello shot or one like
mm-hmm.
cup?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We should call the overlords and see. Maybe they're watching. Who knows?
Oh, maybe.
Have them hand us down. We need it written out.
Now I'm
We
afraid.
need to know.
Now I'm afraid. I try to stay under the radar, but now they know I work here, and
Now we're outing ourselves.
yeah. I don't know. But yeah. So that was fun. But yeah, you two are one of those people who can do a lot of different things. So that's what makes things more interesting, because if I had to do the same thing every day
Oh yeah.
and only tell one type of story, I think I would get bored very fast, because
Oh
that's
yeah.
just not me.
I couldn't. I've thought about that before. Like, okay, would I just want to have a day every day where it's the same templated type of story? And the answer is categorically no.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
I feel like every day you get to do something different. Like one day you're a firefighter, or one day you're over on the east side, or
Mm-hmm.
one day you're, up in Carmel covering, the Dora that's opening, or one day you're going through a 72-page document from IDEM. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many different things that you have to be up to snuff on and
Mm-hmm.
understanding. So it's a different day every day. But I'm trying to think, Cameron, is there anything that like when you get assigned a story, you're like, like that's really difficult. Like where you get
Um,
nervous, because there are some topics that I'm like, ooh,
so
like
so I've thought about this. Like, we use the terms, and I don't know if anybody's really defined them, but we use the terms interchangeably as journalist, reporter.
mm-hmm.
Um, what was the other one? So I was literally just thinking about this, and there are some people here who are good at digging for things.
Yes.
Like, those that feels like journalist to
like
me.
upper echelon, like journalism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're digging for something that's not right in front of you.
Yes. Yes.
And that is difficult. And people who are good at that are like Angela Gannott,
Yes.
Max Lewis,
the Russ McQuades of the world.
Yes. They're really good at that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like that ain't my thing. That's not to say I can't sit here and look at a document
Right.
and figure it out.
It's just not your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not my genre.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay. Then a reporter, I feel like, just reports what the
Yes.
fact is, what they've been told, or what meeting they were in. This is what happened. Here's what you need to know.
Yep.
I can do that, but then I'm also not.
There's a storyteller too.
That's
the
the
other
part.
one.
Yes.
Storyteller, yes.
Yes. So when you write a story, it could just be the facts.
Right. Just a report.
Yes.
This is what it is. Here's point A, here's point B, here's point C.
But then let me make this into a story and explain
this
to you.
Make it interesting and kind of weave it and make it a little bit more intriguing to the viewer.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I think, not only would people consider me to be a storyteller, but I can also do it live. So like I can do it quickly.
You are good at that.
On the spot.
And I've told you that many times.
Thank you.
Good live, storytelling live. And you had a stand-up a couple weeks ago. You were out at I think out in Lawrence. Remember they didn't have water. Something was going on out there, and you had a really creative stand-up that I was like, oh, that actually makes me want to pay attention to the story. Like stuff like that is how you tell a story that could be a report. It's like, okay, the city's without water,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then you made it interesting and added a touch of storytelling to it.
And for me, like in that particular story, I was willing to help. I wanted, if anything came from that story, was yes, here's the facts about this water main break that happened in Lawrence. But it was also that here's some free advertising for this business, for this guy whose business has been a little slow this week.
Yep.
And so what actually happened in that story is we were done. And I was like, well, you say the food's good here. Food's good?
Some food.
Let me see a menu. So I ordered some food and I was just going to take it with me. And then he brought it to me. And then I was like, all right, let's make this part of the story.
Yep.
So we
Use
did.
it as a stand-up.
Yes. And then that gives me a sense of purpose.
Yeah, and it makes it more, I feel like when we do things like that, it makes it more relatable to the viewer instead of just having the person's face and not showing the actual food, the actual product, or what's actually being impacted. I think that's, I mean, it's TV, it's more visually appealing. And I think it helps too.
Yeah. If nothing else, it helped that guy.
Yep.
I'm sure somebody came in and saw, I saw Cameron eating your food to look good. I came to get a plate. And then I did the same thing with the
place in Speedway.
Place in Speedway.
Yeah. Anytime you mention food, my ears, like, I'm always hungry though during the newscast when I'm watching.
Well, I was in there and it was kind of the same situation. We were done. We were packing up.
Wasn't it shrimp?
It was scallops.
Scallops.
I could smell it. And so we were done getting ready to go. And I was like, let me get an order of those scallops real quick. And
I remember you ate them in your tag out.
Yes. That was my true reaction. I was like, I'm going to just wait until I'm going to shoot. And my first bite will be my real bite. And people will see my reaction to eating it, which it was good. They're scallops.
Then it cuts right back to me. And I'm just sitting there like drool coming out of my mouth. And I was like, oh, why are you doing this to me every weekend, eating food?
But that is what I've literally been thinking about. Okay, what is they're all interchangeable again, but a journalist versus a storyteller versus a reporter.
Yep.
Which one would you say you are?
Oh gosh. I think I'm different on different days.
Yeah.
Very different on different days. Now I'm trying to think if I've had a story that's intimidated me. There was like anything that I don't understand naturally, I think, because that's normal for, I think, as journalists to say like that we have to like research this, we have to go into it. I think that if there's anything that I don't quite get, or if it has a lot of like legal jargon or anything like that I need like explained, that can sometimes intimidate me. But usually once I have somebody dumb it down, for lack of a better term, then I'm good. But I think out of the three of them, I'm different on different days. But if I had to pick, overall, I am not as much of a storyteller. I am very much like, here's what it is, here's the facts, here's what you're gonna get, mixed with maybe like a line or two. Like the ending line will be like more storytelling. And then sometimes I'll get into like the more digging or, finding a little bit more facts. But I think for me, I'm pretty well, like with me, it's going to be, it is what it is, what it is. It's not going to be too.
These are the facts.
Yeah. These are the facts mixed with a little bit of digging, I'd think. So I'm pretty straightforward.
Jenny, I don't know how long we've been on because the clock is down.
No, see, we were talking about issues, and here we go.
Yes, we were talking about issues. So
I
what
would
we're going to
knock on wood, but this table's not wood.
Well, that's you asked on my wish list. A table is one of them.
Yeah, I can see that.
But we're going to take a quick commercial break because we don't know how long we've been talking, and then we're going to come back and we're going to keep talking about all kinds of fun things. That Jenny said everything is on the table. So
everything.
You're dating somebody. And dating in TV news world.
And I will tell you the story behind it, everything.
Yeah. I want to know. That's what we call spilling the tea.
Spilling the tea.
All right, get your glasses ready. More Fox 59 tonight coming up.